Yes. The one that I was looking at was SPX. Now I did drop this into the chat as well. Winning trades. I'm not sure if you had a chance to go and backtest this, but this happened.
No.
The entry came in on the 11th of February, and we can have a look at that. Now, I don't really trade SPX, but this was for me to work on my trade management, and that's what I felt like this provided. 2 minutes. Okay, so looking at this, where were we trading? So we had made a new low. Okay, this was the lower time frame low break here, and this was the intraday break here. So this was not only an SC for lower time frame, but it was also an SC for high intraday as well. So I was looking at this area into here. We tapped into it. We get a mitigation. We tapped into it one more time. Okay, for whatever reason, I can't tell you why. But either way, we tapped into it. We respected the high, and then we started to distribute. Now, for me, I needed to get a break. The break that I needed to get was this. Why? Because now this is holding my leg, and this is my SC, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So looking at that, going to 2 minutes. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay, going to this. Now I was looking at higher price. I was looking at the open. So this was the New York open into this. I was looking obviously at deeper, like, for example, this micro distribution in here, but looking at how price was reacting here, and we'll dive into that in a second. And also the fact that we have tapped into the open of New York session open, I was convinced to just throw a little bit of risk to see what it does. Looking into this, we had a nice distro coming into the open of it. We've got our buyer's climax, giving us that change of character with our AR. We then get a secondary test that does come and give us a minor sign of weakness, and then we get that last pop. Okay, now when I was looking at this, I think we was up here. Okay, because I had an alert here that said break, and then we was looking. This is my UT, and I was looking at that 12-minute. Is it gonna let me? Nope. Okay. There was a 12-minute sitting in here, and we can see this was it here. So if we've taken the 50-1, sorry, if we've taken the 50%, we would have got tapped in. I was looking at that 80%, and we pretty much missed it by a little bit. Okay. By what was this? By 0.4. Okay. So, but nonetheless, what did we do? We went and we've got a minor sign of weakness here by breaking this low. So this becomes my last point of supply. And then same thing, we've tapped into that. Now, I don't know if it's going to let me see if I can go down to like a 1 minute. I should be able to, right? Yeah, there you go. Okay, so into that, what do we get? We get high, higher high, and we get that break here. Okay, so the order flow coming in, and then order flow breaks. So this is the low, this is the high, same thing. Okay, if you want to do this to this is here, and if you want to use the Fibonacci to get premium on the dollar, okay, we're also sitting at that 88.8. Okay, I like the fact that it's around my 80%, so it's just more of a confluence. And then we can see we tapped right into it. So whether you had the 88.8 sitting in there as a limit, oh no, the 88.8 don't tap in. but the 80% does. Let's see, where do we have more of a confluence? Was I think was this a 2 minute? Yeah, there's a 2 minute in there, and I just pretty much took it from that 2 minute open to there. Okay, so there was the 80% there for me. Wait, remove that. Okay, so this was where the entry was sitting, right? And then that tapped me in. So when we made this new low here, I went to reduce risk. Okay, so move my risk here. And so after 10 o'clock, I wasn't really looking to trade. I'm sorry, after 4 o'clock, I wasn't really looking to trade, but I was looking at this area for a potential pullback for price to come into it. And as you can see, we haven't really come back up into it. So that was out of the thing. And then just pretty much holding on to it. I closed partials when we made this new low here. And then today we are sitting at, well, after making that new low yesterday, sorry, hit that 12117 in here when we made that new low here yesterday. Taking majority of here was a 85 to 1. And then here that lowest low was 117. So I was super pleased about that. Took some partials off and just letting it ride. So now this was the SC that caused the break, which is why I was looking for an entry. Reduced risk here got hit, and I dropped this on the chart. It was when we made this micro up in here. This one here, when we made that break, I went to reduce risk, and yeah, then just got clapped. But that was the one. Lastly, I want to go over is GU. So we was talking about GU, weren't we? And I don't know if you got back to me, but did you get into the re-entry?
No, I didn't, mate. No, I meant to. Yeah, I need to look at it. Really, we'll look at it now, shall we?
Okay, so this one was a bit of a different trade because it wasn't happening at a structure point, which is where I would have liked it up in here. It did happen in the middle of nowhere, but reason why I threw a risk was because we was getting a nice distro up in here, and also the fact that we were bearish times 3. This was not full risk for me because, as I said, it was still in no man's land. Okay, this was a very small risk. So looking at this, we have tapped into supply, into lower time frame extreme, and then we've got a nice sell-off. Now, the reason why I wasn't looking at this area and why I was looking at this one was because of, where did price need to come back and mitigate? If you look at a 3 or 4 hour, yeah, that 3 hour there. When you look at the 3 hour, we can see there was a nice redistro. This is the UTAD that then caused that. And this is the one that needed to come back and mitigate. We can see this is fairly mitigated. And also the fact that by the time I saw this, we had already traded higher. So all I had to do was just follow price. We went and we made a new high. So this is what was holding it until we went and we broke that. So when we broke that, this is now what's holding it. Okay. So then I think this is when I was telling you about that 1-1. Yeah, there you go. That 1-1-10. Okay, 80% of that, and also that 190. Right. So I was trying to find confluence into this. I had a small risk sitting at that 80%. I didn't have anything sitting at the 88 because I didn't have a what's it called, a confluence in there apart from this imbalance. But I guess you could have. And then we tap in here at 10:40. So it's like London time going into New York. New York does give us a little thing, but the one that I was looking at was this break here. And I know Mike's got a 5-second in there, but for me, it's simple. High, low, there's the break. This is what's holding our leg, okay? And me, just very simple guy. I like to get cheap things. So looking at that premium, we got the Frankfurt in here. Well, sorry, London Open in here as well. This is where I had short. So that 88%. No, so it wasn't. It was the 80% is where I had a small risk sitting in here to then go down. And at the same time, when we made this low, what's holding my order flow now? This. So it was the same thing. I already had this here. So this is here, and then that, and then when we got that pullback. So this one, unfortunately, I had to take. So I had two limits sitting. I had one limit sitting, and I had a market execution. Because when I was looking at this, I was traveling. This happened right bang on that 8 o'clock. I was 8 o'clock. I was on the platform, waiting for my train. So I just took a market execution here, and I threw a little bit of limit into that. And I was sitting. That one was at just 12 pips stop loss. This one was about a 20 pips on my broker. Yeah, about 20 pips here. That I was looking at. So maybe my 80% was somewhere here, for example. And then so I just threw a little bit of risk, but then at the same time, did you see what we got here?
Yeah, we got another sort of type 1, didn't we?
Yeah, very clean, very clean. So we've got, there's our trading range, 1 drive, 2 drive, 3 drive. There's our break, okay? And then when we look at into here, this mitigated that. This came back and mitigated that. This came back and mitigated that. So what needed to be mitigated was this. Is the open, there's about 80% of it. This is where, had that not been freaking underground, I was looking at this. I think it was the 6 minute. What candle was I looking at? 7, 8, 9. There was a candle in there. Can't find it now. Maybe it's 21. No, 22. Okay, I can't find the candle, but I was looking at a candle up in here, and then same thing, right? Watch when that low comes in, looking for that pullback, and just off that 80. And stop loss would have been here. We had no reason to be back up into here and then to go down lower. And I think by the time I saw this, we had already been trading up in here, for example. I can't remember. Yeah, we spent about what? An hour. Yeah, that was the journey. So those were the opportunities, man. I think they were very, very decent considering. And then we had that low here. We had this low here.
Considering it's February as well.
That's what I was saying. Considering it was February, very, very decent one. So yeah, so I'm currently riding this. I took some partials, 10 to 1 here, 11 to 1 on this one, and then just letting it come. So I do believe this is not going to hold. So this is where I'm going to take some more. And at the end of the day, we've got this low, this new low. So this is what's holding our order flow here. So that was it, man. That EJ gave us a nice one. What was it here? So EJ was a good one that we looked at. Definitely going back test this by yourself. This was a 1 to 100, and the one that we looked at was a 1 to 20 here. That was this week, I think. Yeah, that was this week. This was last week. So that was this beautiful trade, and then SPX with that 1 to 100 as well. Definitely a good opportunity. As I said, given the fact that it's a February, and then GU, very clean one as well. That yeah, could have got into. Other than that, that's it, mate. I got into Bitcoin from here. I don't know if you was looking at it.
He bought it. Oh yeah, I did see that. I saw
Yeah.
the British order flow, but I